Yo, RamiX, back in my video, and today's video has suggested what if the 7 deadly sins were in Naruto. Make sure to like, share the video to a friend who likes or just anime content in general. Comment down below what are suggestions and your thoughts and feelings about the video, as well as subscribing, as I want to hit 9k by July and 10k by the end of the year. And make sure to go down below and check out a YouTuber who makes fire content, what ifs, on My Hero Academia, One Piece, and even Naruto itself. So I hope you guys enjoy his content, as he also makes intros. So if you want to check him out, if you're an aspiring content creator, then you should, as he makes stellar content. And I feel as if, he's a bit underrated. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into the video. The first change that will occur is that the sins also have chakra. And the second change is that dimensional rifts are possible in the world of the 7 deadly sins. Meliodas, Bon, Deanne, King, Gother, Escanor, and Merlin would unexpectedly be teleported into the Narutoverse. The sins would start to get accustomed to being within the world of Naruto, as they had been upset from losing their many friends, but more importantly, they would want to serve someone, so they would venture to the Leaf, walking through the defense barrier and alerting several high-ranking Anbu. Meliodas would be at the head of the group, as Merlin would put up a defensive barrier with her magic around each of them. They would then make their way to the Hokage office, opening the door as all of the 7 deadly sins would kneel to Hiruzen, the current Hokage at this time. Hiruzen would be shocked at their kneeling stance, excusing the Anbu from the room and asking of whom they were. Meliodas would stand at the head of the group. "We are the 7 deadly sins, and I am Meliodas, the dragon sin of wrath." "Sins?" Hiruzen would say. "Yes, sins. We all represent the 7 deadly sins, or the 7 sins." "Interesting. So I'd assume the rest of you guys are the other 6 sins?" "Precisely," the other sins would say. "But besides that, we'd like to work under you and serve you like we had in our previous world." Hiruzen would look confused and raise an eyebrow at this remark. "Previous world? What do you mean by that?" "You see, we were somehow taken from our world to here, and we served under the King of Leone, an old man who resembled you in the slightest, so we find it only right to serve under you." Quite interesting. The 7 deadly sins would then continue to speak. "We tried multiple times to return to our realm, even with Merlin, the most powerful mage we know. Her spells, her strongest spells at that, couldn't bring us back to our world. So we're left here, and we, at this point, serve no true purpose." Quite interesting, Hiruzen had thought, as he would grab his goatee. Minato would walk into the room, telling the Hokage that he has returned from the battlefield. Hiruzen would tell Minato the situation, as Minato was shocked by these 7 unknown beings being in the room. Minato, after hearing this, would say that he believes that they should serve under Hiruzen, or even himself, since if things go right, he could become Hokage. A few weeks would pass with Minato obtaining the role of the 4th Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. The sins would then serve under Minato, acting as a royal guard of sorts. Minato would teach them all the flying Raijin. The sins would continue to train to serve Minato better as a whole year would pass. Minato would tell the sins that his wife would give birth in a few months, and that they, as well as his former student Hatake Kakashi, would be her bodyguards during the birth. Minato at this point would explain what can happen when Jinchuriki give birth, as the sins would understand, training even harder than before, and as hard as they ever had. The sins would be decently powerful at this point and would have a great relationship with Minato, as he was in a way like the leader of the group, but of course it was still Meliodas, but because of that respect for Minato, similar to the one they had for King Bartra, it was almost as if they were family. The night of the Nine Tails attack would then arrive, with Kushina giving birth. Also, as I said before, the sins are much stronger here, as this is after the druid training, and after Meliodas gets access to his power, his demon power, locked within the goddess ember. The day would then come with all the Sins coming to protect Kushina. Kushina would then give birth successfully as Obito would be fighting Minato. Minato would take care of the Nine Tails much easier, as well as taking care of Obito much easier, as he has much more chakra. Though the Nine Tails would somehow escape from what Minato had done. Basically, Minato had used the Flying Raijin in tandem with a Rasengan to put the Nine Tails on his back, but the Nine Tails was able to quickly regenerate from this and ravage the village, with Hiruzen coming to stop it. The Sins seeing this would rush over to it, with Diane slamming her sacred treasure into the Nine Tails and slamming him far into the range of Minato, who at this point would have defeated Obito and would be right beside Kushina. Minato would then see and would also be happy that the pregnancy and birth had gone pretty well, as Naruto looked like a good old boy and a normal one at that. So Naruto would use a simple, I guess you could say, a simple cry, I guess, if you will. Since Naruto was a baby, he would start to cry abruptly, which was a simple cry that all babies had. Minato, after seeing this, would rock Naruto slowly in his arm, as Minato was unable to seal her completely, as the Nine Tails was still running rampant. As such, Minato would activate the Reaper Death Seal. But before this even transpired, the Nine Tails would rush at Minato and Kushina, trying to kill them in a last-ditch effort. The Nine Tails' claw would go through Minato as well as Kushina, impaling both of them. This would cause both Minato and Kushina to be in fatal, I guess you could say, circumstances, as they were both bleeding out from their chest, which had a massive hole in them from the Nine Tails' massive claws. Minato would tell the Sins that he doesn't believe that he can live much longer with his wound. Merlin, hearing this, would look to the ground, activating a perfect cube as Minato would summon the Reaper Death Seal, sealing 50% of the Nine Tails within himself and the other 50% into a baby Naruto. Minato would try to activate one of her spells to heal Minato, with Minato saying that her spell will do nothing to heal him. He's already lost his soul. Minato would be absorbed into the Reaper Death Seal as he would then die, with Kushina falling in quick pursuit due to her Uzumaki, I guess you could say, roots. Minato would then smile, telling the Sins to raise Naruto as their last duty, and respect him, even treat him as if he were their own son. Minato would then say goodbye to Naruto with Kushina now dying. The Sins would run to the edge of the village with Naruto. The edge of the village is where the tavern was established, and in this time, the tavern is about 2 times bigger than in the canon, or in the Seven Deadly Sins universe. Naruto would be given his own room, as he would then turn 5 years old 5 years later. At this point, Naruto would learn of his true heritage, as Merlin would be able to create visions for Naruto so that he could see his father and mother and experience what they were like. The Sins would explain that they were entrusted with raising him. Naruto at this age would also start to be trained by the Sins, learning many jutsu like the multi-shadow clone jutsu, but most notably the Flying Raijin, which would take Naruto over 4 years to master. Along the way of mastering the jutsu, he would learn many battle strategies from the Sins, and would obtain a sacred treasure of his own, called Blasphemy. Blasphemy was a short sword that allowed Naruto to amplify all of his attacks the further into the day, similar to Escanor's Sunshine ability, but the opposite of it, because as night approaches, Naruto becomes stronger and stronger. So most of Naruto's training would be spent at nighttime. Another ability that Blasphemy possessed was absorbing the person who it clashed blades with's chakra. Ever so slightly would drain chakra from that opponent, especially if they had high reserves or several jutsu at their disposal that took high amounts of chakra to activate or use, and would store it within the blade to use it at a later date or give it to Naruto if he were in peril. Due to this, in many spars at night, of course, The Sins would be injured by Naruto, who would accidentally go overboard. As such, Merlin would create a sacred eye patch for Naruto, which prevented him from turning into his nighttime form without his own permission, if you will. This would cause Naruto to master his nighttime form, with the only emotional difference being Naruto's tone and seriousness. It was shown in the Seven Deadly Sins manga and anime that Merlin was able to create glasses for Escanor that allowed him to not transform into his daytime form. So I believe she could do the same with an eye patch, as well as just the opposite for nighttime. Naruto would eventually be given a scroll that had all of his father's strongest jutsus within it, so he would start to master the Rasengan and summoning jutsu. Naruto would be able to master the Rasengan in 3 weeks, and the summoning jutsu would take a spell of Merlin's to actually be able to be of use, as Naruto was only summoning small frogs and tadpoles until his chakra control was fixed by Merlin's spell, so that he could summon powerful summonings like Gamma Bunta. Naruto would sign 3 summoning contracts, which I'll get into a bit later, but I will name them. One with Gamma Bunta, who he had to stay on his back, another with a fox summoning, and another with an eagle. I'll explain how these contracts came to be, especially the fox and eagle one, as I skimmed over the Gamma Bunta one. Eventually, a few years would pass, and to be more exact, 3 years would pass in this timeline. Naruto wouldn't go to the academy, with the Sins responsible for that. Naruto instead would train on all of the things he would need to know from the academy and more, though Naruto would still have to be assigned to a Genin squad. So Naruto would join the academy, having the lowest scores as he had done nothing before that point, compared to the years and years of work from the other students at the academy, causing Naruto to be put on Team 7 with Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi. Kakashi would take them to the rooftop where they would have their introductions. Naruto would say that he likes to train with the Sins and likes the nighttime. Naruto would then say that he hates the day but truly despises those who look down on others. In his dream, well, it's no dream. He will surpass his father, Minato, and become the Hokage. Naruto's teammates would laugh. Your father, Minato the Namikaze? Yes, Minato Namikaze is my father. The fourth Hokage is what you should be addressing him as. What a joke, Naruto. Look at you. Don't you think the Hokage's son would be in the academy? A slight tear would drip down Naruto's face. You know, I don't appreciate you making fun of me. I don't appreciate you making fun of the people who raised me's decisions. I don't like it at all. By that, Naruto meant the Sin's decisions. The Sins had decided to keep Naruto out of the academy. As such, he didn't like Sasuke disrespecting their decision, but he also didn't know, due to his, I guess you could say, mix of emotion and fluster of emotions, that Sasuke didn't even know what the Sins' decision was, or who the Sins even were at this time, as the Sins had kind of gone underground, if you will, and we're still doing missions and things of the sort, but we're an underground title of sorts, if you will. Eventually, Kakashi would step in, saying that Minato is his father, as they would all go silent for a mere moment. Kakashi would then ask Sakura to talk about herself a bit, as Sakura would say what she said in canon, with Sasuke saying the same. Naruto would then ask Kakashi what his goal, dream, and I guess you could say likes and dislikes are, with Kakashi saying that he doesn't have any, and doesn't have many dreams or goals either. As they would then be told by Kakashi that they would have the bell test the next day. So Naruto would arrive with Team 7 the next day, as Naruto would find a spot in the forest with nobody around him, laying down and taking a nap as he concealed his chakra. Sasuke would attack Kakashi, eventually getting Sakura to begrudgingly step in with him, as they would try to tag team Kakashi, landing almost no hits. Naruto would be found by Kakashi at dusk, with Naruto using Flying Raijin to appear in the middle of the training grounds, and it seemed that he had used many of his kunai markings to be able to successfully use Flying Raijin. Kakashi, you understand that you will lose this fight? Lose this fight? What do you mean by that? You see, we're now fighting in my element. You can't defeat me anymore, Kakashi. Kakashi would raise an eyebrow at this claim, as Naruto's body would grow in size, height, and weight. Naruto would unsheathe Blasphemy, his sacred treasure, and attack Kakashi. Each time their blades would meet, Kakashi would feel his chakra ever so slightly deplete, with Naruto eventually using the Rasengan on Kakashi, who would do the same. Their Rasengans would both clash, as Naruto would then be kicked away by Kakashi, causing him to use the chakra that Blasphemy had collected from Kakashi to hold Kakashi in place. Naruto would then walk over to Kakashi, taking the bells and giving one to Sasuke. As he did this, he would break free, Kakashi that is, telling Naruto that they'd lose. Naruto would then be tied to the stump, with Naruto reverting back to his old form and asking for food. This would cause Sasuke and Sakura to begrudgingly give them, or him, food, but by them I just mean one of Naruto's shadow clones, as Naruto had activated a shadow clone to use in tandem with his flying Raijin, but because Naruto's shadow clones have been amplified by chakra with Blasphemy, they're a bit more, I guess you could say, humanized. Something that I'm adding to the story with Blasphemy, which allows them to, his clones that is, be more realistic. As the clone would get hungry, so he needs to be fed. So the Sakura and Sasuke would give them food. Kakashi would immediately appear, as Naruto could sense Kakashi before this, as he would look to the ground, knowing that they had already failed. Kakashi would then say that they pass, with Naruto being ecstatic, as well as the other Team 7 members. Except for Sasuke, who would keep his true feelings concealed. Naruto would then say what was the true objective of the exercise, with Kakashi saying that it was teamwork. Naruto would nod, walking away and back to the tavern where he would sleep. And with that being said, this has been What If the 7 Deadly Sins Were in Naruto. And make sure to share the video to a friend who likes what if, or just anime content in general. Comment down below what if suggestions and your thoughts and feelings about the video. Share the video everywhere. And, subscribe, as I want to hit 9K by August and 14K by the end of the year. And as always, this has been RamiX, and I love you all, and RamiX, oh.